All right, we will end this song at the end of class, so stay tuned. So I want to start with a quick question for you. Are you having fun in this class? Is this class a enjoyable, fun session for you? All right, I love it. Okay, thank you. Cool. So that is perfect. Great. For today, oh, thank you. Okay, great. So today we are finishing up writing, and we will start with our usual math question. So let me share a screen and let's jump in and do our math question. Okay, but before I do that, I want you all to promise me, okay? I want you all to promise me that you will follow the steps that we've talked about, right? We laid out a game plan of approaching math questions. I promise me that you will follow those steps and do the question following those steps. Do you promise? Yes or no? Do you promise to follow those steps? Okay. 97% of you promise. Thank you. All right. If you don't, if you get this wrong, I will find out this time who got this wrong on the poll, and I will come message you and tell you, why did you get this wrong? Why did you not follow the steps? Okay. So please, please follow the steps. We will not review them. Please follow the steps. Okay, let's do it. Oh, I need to install something. There we go. Okay, we are doing question 5. I've even put the steps below. If you forget the steps are below. All right? And you've all promised me you'll follow the steps. So please follow the steps. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds. Okay, we have one person that has not followed the steps. Who is that one person? Okay, another 20 seconds. All right. Wow. Thank you. All right, I will end poll in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I want to show you this. This is what the results look like. Okay, I'm showing the results today because we have 2 people that did not follow the steps. And you can probably tell, the people that got it right can probably tell why they didn't follow the steps. So let's go through it. I will do this really quickly. Let's read the question. And I really hope that you are taking this and actually applying this on your own. So let's leave write out type of question. We don't know yet. Let's do highlight important information. So weight of object on Venus is approximately 9/10 of its weight on Earth. So then we want to do write down values and equations. So here we have equations. So we do Venus. And if you remember, we talked about this before. We have Venus is 9/10 of weight on Earth, right? We talked about how to convert these sentences into equation. So Venus becomes Venus, is becomes equal, 9/10 becomes 9/10, of becomes multiply, and then Earth becomes Earth. So we have V is equal to 9/10 times E. Then weight of object on Jupiter is 23 over 10 of Earth. So J is equal to 23 over 10 E. And then the question is, if an object weighs 100 pounds on Earth, so E equals to 100, approximately how many more pounds does it weigh? So here the question is, how many more pounds does it weigh on Jupiter than on Venus? So the ask is basically Jupiter minus Venus. This is how you want to set up these problems. You must have this written down. And many of you got this right. You please have this written down. The most important part, my friends, is over here. Please, please, please have that ask written down. Okay, so the first thing we do is eliminate MCQ. Very quickly, we can eliminate, one more. So what's the type of question here? This is a second part question, second part, right? Because it's asking for more. It's trying to trick us. It's not asking for V, it's not asking for J, it's trying to ask for more. So we have to be careful. So the two people, I'm showing the results because two people did not follow these steps. See, if I give you the steps and you don't follow the steps and you get the wrong answer, then the solution is to follow the steps. So please just follow the steps, okay? Eliminate MCQ. So we can eliminate A and D immediately because we can identify the trap. A is 9/10 times 100. D is 23 over 10 times 100. So we eliminate those. Then we can plug and chug. Well, we can't really plug and chug anything here. We can narrow down MCQ. What do we notice? Actually, I will come back to that. So in terms of solving, there's two ways. The first method is you do J minus V. So therefore, this becomes 23 over 10 E minus 9 over 10 E, which equals to 23 minus 9 over 10 E, right? So then very clearly this falls out, this comes out to be 14 over 10, right? So you can pick C, that's the right answer. The second approach for this, the second approach is you have V is equal to 90, J is equal to 230, right? 100, yep, 230. So J minus V has to equal to 140. That's another way you can get 140. Now, there's one other really cool way, which if you follow the narrow down MCQ approach, Naman helped me realize this one, is that if you look at this, this and this are all multiples of 10. So 10x, 10x, 10x. This one is not a multiple of 10, which is quite interesting, right? And this is also not, there's no approximately in the question. So just by a little bit of understanding of the question, you can know that it has to be a multiple of 10 because you're dividing by 10 and then multiplying by 100. So you can cross this out also. So you don't even have to do all of this. You can just look at the equations and select C. Now these approach can be dangerous. So I would always recommend that you do the last step, which is check answers against ask. Is 140 J minus V? Yes, it is. Therefore, it's 140. Okay. So thank you everyone. This is the first time we've gotten so many people that have gotten the right answer. So thank you all for following the steps. See, this thing works, right? Do you believe me that this stuff works? I will do this again. Do you believe me that this stuff works? Yes, you believe me. Okay, perfect. Thank you. 4 people don't believe me. 60, 70, 80 people believe me. That's awesome. Okay, thank you. Look at that. All of you can go and you can get perfect on your mathematics. Cool. So we will go back and continue doing the writing section. Now, I want you to just understand this. This is going to be our third session where we are now spending time on doing writing questions one by one. So 3 sessions out of these 7 sessions that we dedicate to this section is a lot of sessions. So why am I doing this? This is super important because I want to show you the approach with which you can practice on your own for these questions. So I really hope that this approach is helping you learn and that you will continue this practice with the next papers. So the question I have for you is, are you getting better today at knowing the rules and applying the grammar rules than you were at the start of class? So at the start of class, are you better today than you were before? Awesome. Okay, perfect. Thank you. 96% of you are. I want to just share this. So you're learning. Okay, this is great. Now, the second part of this question is, are you better today at applying the grammar rules than you were at the end of our last review of the rules. So remember, we spent 2 or 3 sessions on learning rules. Are you better today at those rules than you were at the end of when we finished learning the rules? Okay, awesome. 80% of you are. I love it. This is what we have. Sweet. Maybe we have some new people, and maybe some people, maybe it's not helpful. Maybe you already know it. Okay, so this approach works, right? It's been working for 80% of you, so I really hope you will keep this up on your own. Okay, and there's one more layer to this, which we're not really going to touch on, but I want you to know, if you're making mistakes in writing, the root cause analysis still stands. That approach is still helpful in writing. So I have a couple that may potentially be a root cause, but it's up to you to really find out what the root cause for yourself is. So the first could be you overlooked a comma. Like I overlooked a comma, and so remember the one mistake I made, I thought the clause was much longer than it actually was. So if you overlook a comma. Second could be you don't know the rule, which is fine. There were some idioms which we did not know these idioms, so you have to learn those idioms. So if you don't know them, please go and download the list of idioms and memorize. The third is you may have incorrectly assumed the meaning of a sentence. These sentences are kind of tricky, so you may have incorrectly assumed, but if you read carefully, you won't. The fourth is you may have misidentified the subject in the sentence. That happens quite frequently. For example, when we did the ice and snow, some of you thought the subject was suit, but in actuality, the subject was ice and snow, and which is why the folks that got it wrong maybe had the wrong subject. So identifying a subject in a sentence is important. So if you made this mistake, please make sure you are practicing identifying subjects in complex sentences. And the last one is the same one as mathematics, is you misread a question. There's really no solution to misreading question than to actually go in and read questions. Okay, so enough preamble. Let us go in and let us do the practice. We will start with question 34 today. Question 34 in paper 1 of Khan Academy. All right. All right, Aditi, could you help me start the SAT question polls from now? Thank you. All right, another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So in this one, let's go to our worksheet. Where is it? There we go. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys, we'll do this like last time. Can you guys write down in chat what you think what is this testing? What skill are we practicing here? Yep. Okay. So conjunctions, and I love the people that put in, what you guys put in, definitions or modifiers and question mark. I understand why you are saying that. So essentially, the phrase here is being used to introduce this sentence, right? So there's not really a linking as such going on, but we need to find a phrase that introduces the sentence correctly. So the reason it's conjunctions and contradictions is to help us cross out these two. Because in contrast, this sentence and this sentence are not really in contrast, right? What is this sentence talking about? Seen by many students as useful. And this is just a definition. So they're not really related. And then again, they're not opposite each other. So you still can't have nevertheless. They're not really related to each other. So that's why conjunction and contradictions are being tested here. Here it's for example. For example also does not make sense because this is not an example of here, right? And if you remember in the passage, actually, if you notice, where did it go? Nope. What is this? Yeah. Okay. In the passage, if you notice, in broad terms and but more pragmatically, this is a structure of the passage. So you have to use in broad terms is correct. So A is correct. Because in but more pragmatically, so you know that in broad terms has to be opposite of but more pragmatically. Okay. Again, please, if there is any questions that you have on this, please speak up. Speak up. There's too much on chat. I won't be able to follow. So please speak up or raise your hand, and then we can address those questions. And we will learn through questions. So please do ask questions. Okay, let's do 35. We'll start the poll again. All right, 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and poll. Okay, interesting. All right, let's go over this. There seems to be some confusions here. So very quickly, most of you were able to cross out, well, everyone crossed out C because way more pragmatically is too wordy. And then here, more pragmatic speaking way, again, it's too wordy. But the same reason, actually, many of you put B, the same reason applies for B. The word speaking in all of these here is actually unnecessary. That's what they're talking about. So I know this is tricky. I am getting the answers because I have the answers in front of me. That's how I know them. But when you're doing this, if you're struggling with this, you can, the way to identify is look at two options. So if you're struggling between A and B, look at the two and see what's the difference. So the difference here is speaking in is the difference, right? Let's highlight this, speaking in, A, and way. These are the differences between A and B. And then you ask yourselves, is speaking in a way necessary? Is anybody speaking here in the sentence? No one's really speaking in the sentence. Therefore, speaking is actually not necessary. So it's not that this will jump out to you immediately as a redundancy or wordiness error. It's in comparison between two different options. You can ask yourself, is the additional piece necessary? That's how you get to the bottom of a wordiness error. Okay, let's do the next question. Question number 36. Thank you for the poll. All right, another 15 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay. I think all but 2 got this answer. I love it. So the answer is teaches. This is the answer. Now, I want you to write down in chat, what is this testing? So don't just write down tense, it's testing tenses, but what additionally is it testing? Can you guys write this down in chat? Okay, perfect. Parallel structures. And then can you tell me which word is this word parallel to? What are we being parallel to? Offers. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I really hope you guys are seeing this, that the first is because something teaches students, therefore discipline offers. This is the structure of the sentence. Because A, comma, something, something, Y, right? This is the structure of the sentence. It's not clearly in a because, therefore structure, but that's still the structure of the sentence. So for the hint of this, you have to go to offers. Perfect. You guys are getting it. All right, let's do number 38. All right, another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, you guys. Basically, we have a split on all of the options. Okay. So we all understand that this is testing conjunctions, right? It's basically asking us to figure out how is sentence A and sentence B related. So let's go into our document. Okay. So the first thing. So many of you actually struggled with this. The most common answer was actually the incorrect one. Yeah, the least common answer actually was the correct. The least common answer was the correct one. So let's look at this. The idea in the first sentence is the survey concluded that not only 18% of Americans required at least one philosophy course. That only 18%. And then here we have between 1992 and 1996, more than 400 independent philosophy departments were eliminated. So we have low enrollments. Sorry, no, it's low requirements. So we have here low requirements, only 18%. And then here we have eliminated. So the question is, are these two sentences related as a cause and effect? Is it because a survey concluded that only 18% of the colleges require a course? Was it because of the survey results that that philosophy departments eliminated institutions? And could it be that a survey result in 1994 resulted in something that happened between 1992 and 1996? So there's no cause and effect relationship here. So this is a little tricky. You have to just pay attention closely here and just notice that at first guess, it may look like there's a cause and effect relationship, but there's not actually. And so because of that, you should be able to eliminate therefore and thus. Now, similarly, you can eliminate however, because again, however suggests that it's the opposite. So it's not a cause and effect relationship. It's more like a yet. So again, these two are not related like that. Moreover makes the most sense because it's giving us more data in terms of what is happening to philosophy enrollments. Okay, does that make sense? Now, almost more than 80% of you got this wrong. So I really want to make sure that you guys are understanding this. So does this reasoning make sense? Yes or no? Okay, so we have 10% of the class that thinks no. So can you please raise your hand if you think no, and then let's talk about it and learn. All right, we have 13% of you that said no. So could you please raise your hand? You're not alone. Many other people also don't agree with this. All right, that's fine. Okay, let's move on then. Let's move on. Okay, let's do 39. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, so we have 33% for A, B, and C. So, okay. But there's a question. So the question above here is thus and therefore are the same thing. Thus, thus is like when you say as a result, like, yeah, thus and therefore are basically the same thing. And if you're struggling with the definition of words like moreover, notwithstanding, things like that, I would recommend you Google search those words. Those will come up very often in SAT. So if you're struggling with the definitions of these conjunctions, please Google search them and learn their meanings. It will help you in your SAT. Okay, so let's go here. I am quite surprised actually that A, B, and C are all 33% because we have, what is it saying? Okay. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, what's the problem? What's the problem in A? Can someone tell me? What is the problem in A? Can you guys write into chat? What is the problem in A? Wait, actually, as is not fanboys, right? For and nor but yet so. Okay, as is not. Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to A. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, we'll come back to 39. I promise we'll come back to 39. Oh, this is not updating. 1 second. No wonder. I promise we'll come back to 39. Okay, let's do 40 for now. Oh, let me relaunch the poll. Okay. All right, another 10 seconds. Okay. and pull. All right, so most of you are getting this. This is a tense question. The question is about, sorry, this is a tense and plural singular. So what's the subject? The subject is students, and therefore students have will make the best sense, right? Scores is, again, there should be score if this was the right answer. This is the wrong tense. And has scored, this is the wrong plural subject. Okay, let's come back to 39. Sorry, I was looking at this incorrectly. So we'll start from the bottom. So when the results are, the issue here is actually these results is, what are they calling it? They're calling this a vague pronoun. And if you look at this, it says, also studies have found that those students who major in philosophy often do better than students in both verbal and reason analytic. So they only talk about better. They don't talk about results. So if you talk about these results and the results, you are creating a vague pronoun error. And this is important. This will actually come up in our second part of our class, if we have time for it, for the other types of question. So when you have these kinds of pronouns, just make sure that there's an antecedent to this pronoun that it's being referred to grammatically. The error that they're saying for number C is when you use which can also be, this makes a logic error. What is a logic error here? Oh, okay, I see. So the logic error is also that they're talking about, because they're talking about you can use the scores in both verbal and reasoning analytics. And then they're saying measured by the standardized test score. But if you say also, then you have to have another test which can help you get that answer. So actually, the correct answer is A. And the other thing that is important to know for A is that A uses the as and by approach. So you have to have as something something by. So as shown by the scoreboard, or as defined by the dictionary, or as presented by the speaker, et cetera, et cetera. So as goes with by. So this is an idiom. Okay, again, so this is why I encourage you to look at the solutions on Khan Academy and help yourselves learn. Even I learned something here. This was actually quite tricky for me. So I take back what I said earlier. I'm not surprised you guys are making a mistake. This was actually quite a tricky question. Okay, let's do 41, please. We'll start the poll. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's end the poll here. Okay, so what is happening here? Question 41. All right, so we have students and then we have majoring. So the question is it majoring or majors or major? So the parallel structure you want to see, actually, can you guys figure out what word is this parallel with? Let me go back to this actually. Can you tell me which word is majoring parallel with? Becoming, perfect. So this is kind of tricky. The parallel structure here is with the word becoming. It's not with the word have. So just be careful if you made that mistake. It's becoming. So students majoring in philosophy have no term becoming. So it's majoring. And then between students and student apostrophe s, there's no belonging. So if you have an apostrophe s here, that means that there's a belonging. So some of you actually got this. So please just make sure that is there logically, is there a student's own majoring in philosophy? That doesn't really make sense. So it's not A. So the answer is B. Okay, most of you got this. And then let's do 2 more, and then we are done with this. Let's do 43. And launch the poll. Nice. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So just read the last part there. Does this work? All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we are split, people are split between A and D. So what's happening here is you have, remember we talked about dependent clauses and independent clauses yesterday? We watched that video. So whenever you have these words, that and which, remember, what do we call these words again? Do you remember these words from yesterday's video? I actually forgot. I think they start with a C, right? No, it's the subordinating conjunction. That's what it was. Yeah, subordinating conjunction. Thank you, Dharani. Subordinating conjunctions. Whenever you have a subordinating conjunction, that's the start of a independent clause. So that starts this independent clause. And then if you put a which over here, then which starts another independent clause, which is here. So you have 2 independent clauses, which makes this a fragment error. You have to have an independent clause somewhere. And then again, if you put that over here, this is that also causes the same problem. We have 2 independent clauses. So we have 2 dependent clauses. Did I say independent before? I think I said independent. This is dependent, and this is also dependent because we have subordinating conjunctions. And joins these 2, but then what is the error for and? It says it's illogical because it makes the only verb in the sentence. Okay, yeah. So again, you have you can't join. It makes it illogical. Actually, almost none of you got and then D is the right answer. D is correct. If you just remove this, then you have a dependent clause, which is tied, which then keeps going, and then you have the subject, which is here in them, and then the verb. So you have them as a subject and makes it the verb. So that's why this works. Does that make sense? This was a tricky question. Yes or no? Does that make sense? Yep, Sam, go ahead. What's the question?
I don't see how D is the actual answer, because if you get rid of which,
okay,
it makes it sound like transferable across professions, makes them especially. Oh, now I see it. I just needed to say it out loud.
Yeah, that helps. Thanks, Sam. Actually, Sam, what Sam just said is actually very important. You can't really speak in the SAT hall, but if you just like saying these sentences out loud, that's why actually I did this and I put it here. I did that because it's really beneficial to see these individually. And so when you're doing this, just make sure you plug in each word, sorry, and you are reading the entire sentence. So I think that's another very good root cause error, which is you may not have read the entire sentence. Okay, let's do the last question, 44. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is basically asking for a pronoun. And what's the pronoun? The subject that the pronoun is referring to is students. And so students is plural, so therefore it would be theirs. His or her is incorrect because if you try the sentence, if I say Joe or Bob, and then if I wanted to say that Joe or Bob are coming to a party, and I would say Joe or Bob, wait, is it plural or singular? Joe or Bob is coming to the party, or Joe or Bob are coming to the party? Let's Google search this. Or if anybody can tell me, if I put or, does it become plural or singular? Plural. Okay, so look, we're gonna learn something new today. So here we have when or nor joins two things using a singular verb if both are singular. However, if one of the things is plural, use plural. So let's see, what is this? Henel wants to go to a party, okay. Either Jeremy or Sarah is guilty. Either dogs or Sarah are guilty. Okay, so many of us thought it's are. So now we know. So if you guys thought this, please add this to your notes. I will also add this to my notes. I learned something new. I did not know this. Yeah, so if both elements are, if both things are singular, then you use the singular pronoun. All right, this wraps up our writing practice. And hopefully now you know what happens. So now we're gonna start and do a brief introduction to the second part of writing. You noticed we missed a lot of questions. Before that, quick announcements. Yesterday, I announced that you can get the videos that you missed online on the website. So if you go to the website, click on past videos, then you can access all the previous videos. I also enabled a way for you to just buy or rent a single video because I realized many of you have only missed like one or two here and there. And so that's why I've enabled that also. So you don't have to subscribe for the entire thing. I do want to again stress that this is paid because I want you guys to really focus and pay attention to the video content. There's a lot of free content. And if you subscribe for the entire thing, it's like $3 per video. Whereas if you go for any of these big SAT classes in Singapore, they charge you at least $60 per hour session. So this is really to just help you guys focus on the things. In terms of class timings, there is class tomorrow. Please come to class tomorrow. We will not be doing classes on the weekend. And I also noticed many of you are not able to come on the weekends. I'm guessing if you guys can write down in chat why you cannot come on weekends, I'm just interested to know. I didn't foresee that. So if you guys can write down in chat why weekends are difficult for you, that would help me learn. Or if you can send me an email or private message me, anything works. Okay, so we will do writing. And before writing, I want to introduce a different subject. So it's important for writing. The question I have for you that I want to ask is, do you think you are good at concentration? Are you good at concentration is the question. I can't, Aditi, can you relaunch a yes, no poll, please? I can't do it for some reason. Okay, the question is, are you good at concentration? All right, so we have, thank you. So this is what we have. So I want to share these results. I want you to look at this. And there are 63% of you that say that you are not, that claim that you are not good at concentration. So the question, okay, so let's say if this is true, the question I have for you now is, if I play an Avengers movie, will you be able to concentrate through the Avengers movie? So the question is, oh, I can't. Can you relaunch it again, please, Aditi? Yes or no? Will you be able to concentrate through a movie? If not Avengers, maybe like your favorite TV show or just like another television show. Okay, so suddenly these numbers are flipping, right? We have these numbers flipping. So let me share the results. We have 84% of you can concentrate through the movie. So I want to show you this because in actuality, our concentration is not bad. We don't have bad concentration. It's just something that we can use sometimes, and sometimes we cannot use it. In an Avengers movie or in a Barney movie or in whatever movie you like to watch or Friends episode, you are able to concentrate for much longer than you can concentrate on an English passage, right? So we talked about previous approaches to improving concentration, which was like, we talked about meditation, we did a neck exercises, we talked about sleep, we talked about eating the right foods. So today I want to explore this difference between why can you concentrate through a movie, but you cannot concentrate through SAT, for example. Can you, you cannot even hold, like 2 or 3 minutes in SAT, it's difficult, but in a movie you can do hours. So I want you guys to write down your guesses in chat. Why do you think that's the case? So we have Bhavani that says it's not interesting, it's boring. Motivation, it's more fun. Okay, it's boring. Interest differs, I agree. Yep, boring. TV more, you like TV more. You enjoy watching the movie more. English makes you sleep. Lack of financial incentives. I'm not sure I understand that one. Okay, what's repetitive exactly? I'm not sure I understand repetitive. Mentality is a good one. Okay, so you can't talk during the SAT. Okay, okay. So the main one is boring, right? It's just not interesting. So similar to what we talked about this a few days ago when we talked about having fun during this class, the decision, whose decision is it if something is interesting? The decision is yours. So you choose if something is interesting or not. And it's perfect, it's completely your choice. And so what we're going to try and do is we're going to do a simple thought exercise where we will try and control our level of interest in the SAT, okay? And not just the SAT in the whole, but like in one passage. So what I want you guys to try and do is whatever thing interests you the most in the world, okay? This can be if it's money, this can be romantic relationships, this can be family, this can be social impact, it can be a famous person, or what other things? Can people type down things in chat that really interest them or they're really in love with? Something that you have an emotional connection to. Food, okay. Sports. Okay. I want more like objective. I want more objective things, like things that like get you. So these are all subjective. I want more objective things, like maybe Shah Rukh Khan interests you a lot, or maybe you are very interested by the Avengers films, or maybe you are really in love with a specific car. So which specific car? Or football? Yes, a football club. Perfect. Cookies. Okay, that's good. Some fresh Pokélab. Okay. Neymar. Okay, Neymar interests you. I love this. F1 interests you. Tiger Woods interests you. Perfect. Okay, so these are more objective things, right? Rick and Morty. So Rick and Morty is again subject. It's a TV show. Does Rick specifically or Morty specifically interest you? Okay, so I want you to guys come up with an object that really interests you. SpongeBob interests you. Barney interests you. I love it. Okay, Rick interests you. All right. So now I want you to just fool yourself. Okay, can you fool your own brain? I want you to convince your own brain that this passage that you are about to read, okay, the passage that you are about to read has specifically come to you, handwritten from the person or thing or whatever you're very interested in. So if, what did we have? We had the Tiger Woods. If Tiger Woods interests you, then I want you to convince yourself that Tiger Woods self-wrote this passage and wrote it specifically to Aditya. Okay, Tiger Woods specifically wrote this passage just for you. So then all of a sudden you should be extremely interested, right? In the entire world of 6 billion people, Tiger Woods picked you and wrote his passage to you about Greek yogurt. Okay, that's what he wanted to talk to you about. Or Rick from Rick and Morty, or came back from the future. Okay, he came back from the future, and in the future, Greek yogurt was the biggest thing in the world. And so Rick wanted you to know specifically. He specifically wanted you to know that Greek yogurt is important, and this is why. All right. Who else do we have? Anish, SpongeBob himself swam out of the ocean, okay, showed up at your door with a passage in his hand and said, my entire life's mission has been to deliver this passage to you. Okay, and then he delivers this passage to you. So my point is, you should emotionally, like as much as you can, try and emotionally just fall in love with this passage. Okay, if you're strong in religion and if God is important for you, then just like imagine that this passage is God himself, or God himself wrote this passage. Okay, if music is important and like Shakira is your favorite, then imagine like Shakira herself handwrote this passage just for you. Okay, so whatever it is, you should just absolutely fall in love with this passage. You don't have to fall in love with Greek yogurt forever. You have to fall in love with a total of, how long is it? 35 minutes. 35 minutes is all you need to do. And then the section of English is over. Okay, so this is extremely important. It's a much simpler way. If you don't like this way, you can do meditation, you can sleep on time, you can eat good food, and you can do neck practices, okay? But the other way is emotion. Emotions is very strong in a human being. So you have to just convince yourself that whatever the topic is like, if money is what interests you, then money, like Greek yogurt is about to make you so much money, you are going to be the richest person on earth, okay? You are going to invest in all the Greek yogurt stocks because you know what information is in this passage, nobody else does, and you will be rich beyond your wildest dreams, okay? So this is the level of emotion and investment that I want you guys to have in this passage. Aditi, can you relaunch the poll? Yes, no, please. The question is, does this make sense? Are you guys ready? Does this make sense? Are you guys ready? Nice. Okay. All right. 93% of us are ready. I love it. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to put up the passage on the screen and I'll be scrolling through it. Okay. In the meantime, I want you to really, please do this with me right now. This will be very helpful for you and very helpful for reading also. Please just try and be as emotionally invested in this passage as possible. Okay. Really put yourself in that world where this passage is the most important thing for you, and the most important person in the world has specifically come and hand delivered this passage to you. And they have asked you to help them, and only you, to help them answer these SAT questions. Okay? So I will put up this passage, and I want you to read this passage, and please just invest yourself emotionally. Really fall in love with Greek yogurt. Shakira and Rick and Morty, SpongeBob have all come and given you this passage, hand delivered. And if you find yourself falling out of love, just fall back in love. Just consciously try and fall back in love with this passage. Like really want you to imagine you're sitting next to SpongeBob and reading this passage out loud to SpongeBob. Or Tiger Woods needs to know about Greek yogurt before Tiger Woods can get the next hole-in-one. The world depends on you. Please fall in love with this passage. If you find yourself falling out of love, please fall back in love with this passage. Consciously try and get your emotions as invested in this passage as possible. If you like Wonder Woman herself requested that you help her in this passage. That's what she will use to defeat Steppenwolf. Like imagine there's a chorus of people standing behind singing epic music, and you are reading this passage and the world depends on you and Wonder Woman needs you. Okay. All right. The exercise is over. So the question I have for you was, were you able to just be slightly more invested in the passage? Could you relaunch the poll, please? Were you able to have more attention or retain more from the passage? Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Let me share this. Okay, so we have, okay, sorry, I was scrolling too fast, but hopefully you're, whatever you read, you were still able to retain it, right? Wonder Woman reads very quickly. She's a superhero. So that's why I was scrolling too fast. So look, 80% of you were able to retain more. So this is very key. I really want you to focus on this data that we just gathered right now. In a simple exercise, you were able to read the same passage and retain more information. This is a gold mine that you need to, this skill needs to be practiced. So you need to be able to call on your emotions and invest it into the SAT. So this is why I've been trying to make this class a little fun and upbeat, because I want you to associate fun with SAT, right? This is why we did that exercise of Barney and SAT, because I want to try and help you build this narrative in your head that SAT is fun. And hopefully when you go out into the world, people that are not in this class, you may notice that for you, maybe SAT might be a little bit more fun because you went through a more fun experience. And that is going to help you be invested. And if you notice, even in school, the fun subjects are the subjects where either the teacher is cool or you're doing well. How come person A finds mathematics fun, but person B finds mathematics boring? Mathematics itself is not fun or boring. It's just the people. We control what's fun and boring. So we will start. We talked about this today. We will continue this tomorrow. But this is very important. Okay, please learn to control this. Hopefully, you understand the value that controlling your emotions and investing your emotions into a passage has for this. Wow. Okay, I had a lot of fun. I don't know about you. Hopefully you did too. Who's Sweet Life of Karan and Kabir? I know Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I don't know this. Must be the Desi version. All right. Thank you so much. This is all that I have for our session today. And I will send you out with the rest of the Pirates of the Caribbean theme music.